My dear friends, welcome to Rajashekhar classes on Applied Data Science with Python. This is lecture number 468. In this lecture, we will try to understand unsupervised learning. Clustering is often referred to as unsupervised learning. Let's understand why it is called unsupervised learning. Unsupervised is a word with two parts. So what is first part? Un, and another one is supervised. So both your classification and regression are called supervised learning algorithms or supervised learning schemes. Classification and regression are supervised learning because in both these cases, means classification, regression, you are given xi comma yi and use xi and yi. Using training data, we will try to find a function where f of x equal to y. So you have yi which is helping you, which is supervising you, if you think about it, to find the function f. While in the case of clustering, you don't have yi's. You are just given in the case of clustering, you are just given xi, isn't it? So there is no yi. There is no yi. There is no yi to supervise your learning. Supervised your learning. In the case of clustering, you don't have yi's, isn't it, to supervise your learning. Hence it is often referred to as unsupervised learning. There is also an area in machine learning called semi-supervised learning. So in this case, in semi-supervised learning, what you have here is you have a big data set which is the union of two data sets d1 and d2. And what is my d1? D equal to d1 union d2, such that for d1 you have xi and yi, means label data, and for d2 you have only xi. Typically d1, mod d1, size of d1 is much smaller than size of d2, which means you have small portion of your data with the labels and large portion of data is without labels. This happens this happens when the cost of obtaining yi is given an xi for training the data is very expensive. I will repeat. This happens when the cost of obtaining yi is given an xi for training data is very expensive. So it is called semi-supervised because on small subset of data you have yi's to supervise your learning, but there is also some data where you don't have it. Between unsupervised and supervised, and hence it is referred to as semi-supervised learning. So clustering algorithms often referred to as unsupervised learning scheme or algorithms, and classification and regression are supervised learning because you have your class labels to supervise your learning schemes. Just go through this. If you have any difficulty, please keep a comment. Thank you very much.